when Disney went out there and announced a future slate with, of course, unnamed films coming down the road, many people took note that starting 2022, going into 2023, there was, of course, 4 MCU films per year, thus officially confirming to us the Spider-Man and Disney deal is officially over with the 3rd film. So just by looking at it, you understand that that deal is over. If they were to continue the deal that they had, this would call for Sony to put out a new Spider-Man film every 2 years. That's how it's been. That's how we knew it was going to be right from the start. And if you look at the slate, this would mean that Sony's film would come out, if there was a 4th Spider-Man film in the MCU from Sony, in 2023. With the 2-year gap, obviously, that's what I'm talking about. But Disney has officially jumped on there and announced 4 films a year. One of theirs being directly in July, which is typically Spider-Man time. So what this tells me is the fact that Disney has already staked the claim on these dates, and now they're looking to push some of the other guys out of those specific months. Much like they did with Batman v Superman, and a few other films if you just look at history of films moving away from Marvel Studios. Now, this kind of comes as a surprise because I think many of us thought that they were going to go back to the drawing board and try to work something out. And I want to say that could still happen. You could still see a version of this where time is going out, you know, and the 3rd film is coming and they sit down and they renegotiate something and a brand new Spider-Man film is announced. But then that would mean Disney would have to shift everything. Would they be willing to do that? Probably. Or maybe this will be a year where they put out 5 films, which could happen again, but I think Sony right now is going to focus on their own content, putting their own Spider-Man film out there. Venom, of course, being included in that, and all these other things. So just by looking at it, you start to understand that it is more or less over, and Disney announced this as a kind of, it's a power play, right? They're just like, look, you don't want to play with us? Fine. We'll take your July. What are you going to do? And then, of course, if you look at it, they also took their October. So Disney definitely doesn't look like they want to mess around. And it's going to be interesting to see how these two play together and if Spider-Man 3 suffers due to this.